18 wins from the last 19 races, and that RB20 looks like an absolute rocket ship. Christian Horner, Red Bull team principal, is alongside me. Christian, let's obviously start with the race and the 1-2 for you. I suppose you couldn't, on the track, have expected for anything better.
No, absolutely. I mean, the perfect start, a very dominant race, and you know, I have to say a big thank you to all the men and women back in Milton Keynes that this winter have worked so hard and come up with another great car, and it's testimony to that hard work that goes on behind the scenes. So, you know, great team performance to get that 1-2 finish and maximum points today.
Can I talk to you about your design team and what they've produced here? It's not necessarily a natural evolution. It looks like almost like you ripped it up and started again. What are the key features of this RB20 that you think will make it so special?
Well, you can see it's an aggressive evolution, and I think the design team, the whole team, they've done a wonderful, wonderful job, and you know, they haven't rested on their laurels. They've pushed hard, they've pushed the boundaries, and you can see there's a lot of innovative ideas on the car. It's got the basis of 2019 in its DNA, but it's a strong evolution.
What about the rest of the competition out there? Obviously, they're going to be slightly demoralised, I would have thought, about what they saw out there. Are we thinking that you could potentially almost go on? But I know it's so early in the season to say, but you smashed all the records last year. But this looks equally strong.
Well, look, it's a great start. It's a one-off. It's one circuit. It's one surface. It's very cool temperature. Next week, street track, much higher temperature. I think we're going to have to see 3, 4, 5 races before you see a true pattern. And you know, what we saw in testing is the field has converged. So you can't base too much on this one race. We took an extra soft tyre into the race that distorts that last stint as well. So we're surprised that others didn't do that. But yeah, a great performance by Max, great performance by Checo, and yeah, perfect start to the season.
20 seconds between your teammates. What have you said to Checo about what he needs to do to keep that place for beyond 2024 this year?
Well, he's got to keep performing like he did today, and you know, he started fifth. He you know, came through the field. He made a couple of good passes and drove a strong race. So you know, a 1-2 finish is the optimum result that you can achieve as a team, and they're not that easy to do.
They aren't. Okay. Obviously, United on the track. Christian, are you a United team off the track at the moment?
Yes, absolutely. You know, we're a very strong team. We've got tremendous support. We've got tremendous partners. You know, great shareholders behind us as well. And you don't achieve this kind of result by not being united.
Okay. This is you with the tyre owner video. I have to ask you about this. You know, are you confident that you've got the full backing of everybody above you and that you'll be leading this team in Jeddah next weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Okay, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for talking to us, Christian. There we go. Let's go into the pen and talk to Charles Leclerc.
Charles, can you just talk me through, first of all, the start? Because when you did your start for the formation lap, it looked really good, but then didn't look like you were able to replicate that at the start of the actual race.
I think Max had quite a bad start on the formation. I had a lot of wheel spin, so he made me look better. But at the end, we had a similar start, I think, and yeah. After that, there was no possibility for me, obviously, with the issues we had.
Can you just tell me what it felt like managing those issues? Because we were trying to watch the onboards as well, and we know that you were talking about the braking and is it one particular corner of the car that was not responding?
Yeah, and big time. I mean, I couldn't go around turn 9, 10 for the first 10 laps, even though I was having crazy brake balances to the rears. I would lock every lap, and I was making big changes. So it's been a very, very frustrating race because I was waiting for this race since a long time. I wanted to show what we were capable of, and at the end we cannot show anything on my side because we were completely out of place with brake balance, brake shape, and the car in general wasn't where I wanted it to be. So now we have to analyze what went wrong and in order to improve. Well, I mean, not to improve, just for this issue to not happen.
Did it come back to you at all during the race? Because we didn't hear you on the radio talking about it much, and then with 10 laps to go or so, we heard you again saying the issue was still there. Did it ever go away, or were you managing it the entire time?
No, I was managing it the entire time. There was no moment where, in the first 10 laps, it got much worse every lap. So that's why I did so many mistakes, basically. I was always trying to anticipate the brakes, but whenever I was anticipating the brakes, the issue was bigger, so I was locking up again. after 10 laps it stabilized, so at least I knew that there was an issue and I knew what to expect, but it felt horrible.
Okay, let's first hear about those complaints that he was making over team radio. This is what he had to say.
I just cannot get out of the traffic everywhere. My car is going to the right when I'm braking. Here we are checking. I cannot find dangerous. And we can see the imbalance and the pulling and the braking. And also we can see the data. And brake temperature and balance at the front is getting better. Well, good. Okay, copy. And brake balance -1, suggestion.
Yeah, so problems there for Charles Leclerc. Didn't look happy from the start, an imbalance of the tyres, and it was clearly, playing out on track, difficult for him to manage.
It's a shame because they were the contenders really here today who could have maybe taken the race to Max. But super frustrating for Charles. They had a car yesterday that was really, really quick. He truly believed that they had the pace to have that pole lap yesterday. And then to have an issue like this today, as a driver when you're in the car and it's so unpredictable, it just makes your life so much harder. And that's why he was saying it was dangerous, because you go into a corner, you're not sure exactly how it's going to brake. It's pulling from one side to the other. So tough to drive, and I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of what that is. They only have a few days until we go to Jeddah, so hopefully they get on top.
Yeah, I mean, the big concern, obviously, we might see some close fighting on the Saturday, but at the moment it's just the difference in race pace between those two Red Bulls and everybody else is what's going to hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, the qualifying, a lot of these cars now, they appreciate the fact that you've got to get the car set up for the race. It's how it looks after the tyres, and Red Bull have got the advantage there, definitely. At least half a second, you have to say, over the field. I mean, it's incredible. They just are. I mean, so I think you're right. Qualifying could be close, but that could be misleading. You're going to have to out-qualify a Red Bull by a good 2 or 3 tenths to be able to be comfortably sure that you can compete with them in the race.
Okay, let's hear from Carlos Sainz. He actually passed Charles Leclerc twice on track today.
Today, you need to be pleased with that result in the end. When you look at the pace that was ahead of you, there was nothing more you could do, really.
No, I think it was a very good race, yeah. After a tricky start, I settled into my pace. I knew I had a good race pace coming from testing, and with the work that we've done, we settled into my rhythm and started overtaking cars, and yeah, kept it up with Checo, which wasn't easy today because the Red Bulls had really good pace and a good strategy with the new soft, but very happy and encouraging start.
You said overtaking cars. I mean, you provided some of the best entertainment today with your couple of overtakes on your teammate. Are we going to see a lot more of that this year?
I'm going to overtake, obviously, when I have a chance and when it's safe and clean like it was today. Especially I had a good pace, I could extend my first stop, so I had always a bit of a tire advantage that I created for myself, so the overtaking was always clean, tidy and safe, which is the way I like to go racing.
Do you feel like every race you're putting yourself in the shop window right now?
Every race, huh?
Every race you're putting yourself in the shop window for another team to come in for you next year, or are you quite calm about that?
I think I've been in F1 9 years, as I said before, every race I keep trying to prove to everyone what I'm capable of